I recently called up with Juliette Economo, the Director of Commercial Services for Roads and Maritime Services. What I love about Juliette's brand of leadership is her clarity of thought around simple logic and authenticity of her relationships. I don't think you'll be too surprised when you hear her response in terms of what she looks for in a leader and why.
That's a great question, and it's actually something that I've been thinking about quite a bit recently. Leaders that I've really admired, it's always been the fact that they've been authentic, they've been real. And whether it's because you've seen their vulnerabilities from time to time, or there's been something else where you've kind of gone, they're human after all, and that's what makes the relationship so much more genuine and sincere. When you think about it, relationships now is everything.
Yes.
Even in terms of business, the key differentiator now is relationships, whether you can actually build a connection with the other party. You want to have those key relationships, and they've got to be sincere.
Yeah.
The only way that can happen is if you're true to yourself. And if something gets hard, you can have those conversations. They're not difficult anymore because you've got a connection, so you can build on that. And that's been absolutely key for me. And it's really hard because the politics are constantly being played out. And I guess I got to a point eventually where it was just, I don't know that I necessarily want to play those games anymore. I didn't want to be like that towards my team, and I didn't want to be like that towards my interactions with other people, my colleagues. So there was a real need for me to just be genuine and just do the right thing. Just be a nice person. Effectively, that's what it was.
Yeah, which sometimes I think is underrated. Just be nice.
Just be nice. Just be nice. And be polite. If you can't be nice, at least be polite.
The next bit is quite revealing about Juliette's own nature and her leadership style. I asked her about the challenge she faces and how they affect her. Aside making a really great point about functional exhaustion, she talks about instinctively how it relates to her kids, which I think is really interesting.
And I think this is a problem that's shared by so many parents, working parents. It's the fact that you always feel like you're never giving 100% either way, because you're trying to juggle things so much and you're just so tired. You're just exhausted. And you're just drained because you're trying to do so much for so many people all at once, and you just give. And there's somebody who's being let down to an extent all the time, always. And you've just got to learn to deal with that. And there are times when it's harder than others. And when you've got a little person who goes, "Oh, Mummy, I really want you at literacy groups today," and you can't be there. That's hard. It is really, really hard. But at the same time, I sort of look around and I go, well, I've got a 10-year-old daughter, and I've got a 7-year-old son. I want to show them that Mummy can have just as good a job as Daddy, and Mummy is just as important as Daddy, and set those role models. Teamwork is key in our household. It's sort of a managed anarchy, but it works because he and I share the responsibilities equally.
What I absolutely love about Juliette is how naturally she is geared to values and purpose. It's in her DNA. That response is why she's such a cherished mentor, in fact, an award-winning mentor. She gets it and she just gets on with it.